Hi, I hope you're all doing well. Another informal video. I'm not wearing this jacket for effect, it's just because it's a bit chilly today, so that's why. Anyway, yeah, I hope everyone's well. I thought I would just make this video on the subject of why I think of the subject of religion, as religion is a subject which people have some quite polarized views on, and I thought I'd just talk a little bit about that. Now, a lot of people are very critical of the whole idea of religion. They think that religion is the cause of wars and the cause of many terrible things in life. I don't agree with this. In fact, I think that most of the bad things we associate religion, we can see will happen without religion as well. And I mean, communism is a good example of that. When we see all of the many millions of people who have been killed by various atheistic regimes during the 20th century. I mean, it's pretty astounding, and these things continue, and the atrocities continue to this day. So to suggest that it's down to religion is, I think, naive. Um, it's one of those things which I think is uh, it seems like a really smart idea, like when you're 15 or something. It really does. And there's times when I've shared that kind of like view, but in fact, to imagine that religion is the source of our ills is, I think, foolish, really. Now, another thing is, I think you have to understand that and take on board that religion has been the repository of our general sense of values and ethics, for good or ill. It's been the repository of those things, the way of transmitting those things um, for thousands upon thousands of years. Uh, it's not something that's going to change overnight. And in fact, I don't know if it will change, really. I mean, things like secular humanism and atheism, they're kind of okay, I guess, in a very tepid sort of way. They're okay for adults who have been brought up with various value systems and then get free of those things and then decide that they will construct something else. But they're quite untested as a way of transmitting value across generations, for instance, or of really shaping society. Because, I mean, we're looking at relatively wealthy societies, and the most uh, sheltered segments of those societies, which really take up things like secular humanism and atheism or existentialism, etc., etc. And I have very great doubts that these things would ever really be a way of assisting us in living effectively at the hard end of things, which is what the majority of life is for the majority of people on the planet. So I actually have a great valuation of religion, and I try to live religiously according to my own lights. And one thing that's very important with that is our relationship with the gods, our relationship with the other world, our relationship with the spirits, and things like this. These things are very important as far as I'm concerned. And these things help you in coping with life and getting through life, and they also help you in clarifying what your real values are. And your values are something that you hold deep within you, And yes, you should look into them. You should explore them. You should find what they truly are and not simply accept what's being given to you. But people do need some basis, and we gain this basis largely from starting off from what we are taught as children. And this is one reason as well where I find people saying, well, I would never, I'm not going to teach my children my religion. It'd be up to them to explore that when they're older. Now, of course, it will be up to them to question and explore things when they're older, but it's a very, very natural thing for people to want to give their children the benefit of their values and of the spiritual protection that they find in their religion and with their gods. That's entirely natural. And I might, I obviously I am quite opposed to monotheism. I'm very opposed to monotheism and its teachings, and I think it is an anti-spiritual force. That's how I look upon monotheism. Um, but at the same time, you have to have some respect for people who take their religion seriously, and actually live their religion, and actually build communities and do all these things. You've got to give them credit for that, at least. But they take their stuff seriously, and I might not agree with their religion, but you know what? You've got to respect what they do in that respect. They get their they get their stuff together, and they sort it out. So I respect that, um, even if I am not happy with their religions or what have you. So as that as well. Anyway, that's sort of like uh, that's my take on that. I also wanted to give a shout out here to my friend Brother Nero. He's a dear friend of mine. We don't have the same path exactly, but I've learned a great deal from Nero, and I think he's doing some really important work. If you're interested in um, diabolism, if you're interested in the actual spirituality of what people have called Satanism, yeah, then I would sort of take a look at Brother Nero's channel, and I'll give a link to that in the description below this video on YouTube. Anyway, that's or on BitChute as well if I upload this to BitChute. So just a shout out to Brother Nero. He's an excellent man, a very sincere man, and I very much respect him. So uh, I recommend him if you're interested in learning about these things, because he does also have. He's obviously writing a lot about diabolism, but even if that isn't the path you're looking for, he has quite a lot of insights. Especially I would say for pagans who are looking for greater depth in things. So yeah, shout out to him, and that's it for today. Okay, take care, and speak to you soon.